All right, so I have my x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0 equation. And the first step is, of course, to decide what number is a, b, and c that goes into the quadratic equation. So the a is the number that multiplies x squared, so a would be equal to 1. B is the number that multiplies x, so b is going to be equal to 2. And c is the number that gets added to those two things, so c in this case is going to be equal to negative 3. So then I need to solve my quadratic formula. So x is going to be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c. And then I divide all of that by 2a. Okay, so if I simplify this expression further, I would have a negative 2 plus or minus, and then the number under the square root turns out to be, well, let's see, if I multiply a negative 4 times a negative 3, that gives me a positive 12. And then if I add 4 to that, I get 16. So that would be the square root of 16 divided by 2. And the square root of 16 is 4, so I have negative 2 plus or minus 4 divided by 2. So for this quadratic equation, I get two different answers, 1 and negative 3. So if I look at my options, I would want to select option C. Negative 3 is one of the solutions to this particular quadratic equation. Now, when we're solving physics problems, if you get two answers, usually only one of them is correct, and you need to look to the context of the problem to decide which of the two answers you should select. So, for example, if we were finding the distance traveled by a projectile, you would expect that distance to perhaps be positive, and so you would choose the positive result. But it will depend on what kind of problem you're solving.